Welcome to One Girl in All the World, the Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy super fan.
Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube, and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. All right. So I just at the last minute decided to throw one of my Buffy shirts on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And yeah, so I just realized that Sunny and Xander are like feeling pretty
I was like, Sunny and Xander. I'm like, did she just make a mistake and say Sunny's name instead of another character's name?
No, I didn't. So Sunny is Kimmy's dog, and she just had one of her eyes removed.
But nobody like gouged it out.
No.
It was planned surgery.
It was a medical gouging.
It was a medical gouging.
A controlled, planned medical
under
gouging.
anesthetic.
Yeah. But hey, at the end, they both have their eye gouged out at the end of it. So
yeah.
Sunny can feel for Xander in this episode for sure. Okay, so we're talking about Dirty Girls, where, like I said before, this really is where the whole end of the show starts.
Yeah, shit's getting real.
Yeah, like things are starting to like, I just can't express myself really about what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like, yeah, starting now is the end.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, so we're talking about Dirty Girls, which originally aired April 15th, 2003. It was written by Drew Goddard and directed by Michael Gershman, and the synopsis is: Willow brings Faith back to Sunnydale, just in time for the arrival of Caleb, a misogynist preacher who has aligned himself with the First. Caleb sends a message to Buffy in the form of an almost dead potential Slayer, claiming to have something of Buffy's, prompting her to prepare her army of girls for an attack against him to reclaim her possession.
Yeah, this is weird. He's so weird.
Yeah. He's yeah.
When we were first introduced to him, I thought we were like in some sort of a flashback in the past sort of situation.
Like from how we saw in the beginning of the season when the girls were getting killed?
Yep.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this is like from the 1950s or something.
Oh, because of his car and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how he talks and...
Yeah.
Like he talks like he's...
Sounds like a
male. Well, no, not just his accent, sorry, like a male from the 1950s.
Well, he just sounds like a Southern preacher.
Yes.
To me.
Yes.
But yeah,
I would like to think that's mostly in the past, although I guess it's probably not all mostly in the past.
Probably not. All right, so we start out in the woods, the scene we're just talking about here.
With the girl running.
With the girl being chased. This is
getting repetitive.
This is giving us early in the season. Mm-hmm. By bringers. So we do see there's bringers behind her.
Yeah.
And a car runs by, she flags it down for help. And there's a priest in an old pickup truck, and he picks her up. And he's like, oh, my God, what's happening? What's happening? And she's like, just drive. So he's driving, and they're kind of talking.
Well, she's like, I'm trying to get to Sunnydale. And he's like, oh, me too.
Me too.
And I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And he says, I'm Caleb. So this guy is wearing, like, the preacher collar.
Yeah.
So, and he says he's Caleb. She says she's Shannon. And they're both trying to get to Sunnydale. And... she says, oh, I'm just trying to get to Ravello Drive. Because he's like, oh, can I drop you at the police station or whatever? She's like, I'm just trying to get Ravello Drive. So obviously it's a potential trying to get to Buffy's. And he says, oh, like, were you at a devil worshipping? Like, I saw those guys. It looked weird, like the bringers. And he says, maybe they were chasing you because you're a whore?
Yeah, I was like, what? You're dirty? You were born dirty?
Yeah, here we go. This is the start of Caleb's whole shtick. And he's like, oh, you can't help it. You were born without a soul. You're just like a dirty girl. It's kind of the name of the episode.
Weird.
And she's like, no, I'm not. And she's like starting to she's starting to get creeped out.
She's uncomfortable, yeah.
Yeah, and she starts to like grab for the door handle to like open the door and jump out.
Isn't one.
No door handle. So she's trapped in the car. And he's like, yeah, you wouldn't want to jump out of the car anyway because, we're going really fast. And he says, oh, like something about my boys. So he's obviously in league with the bringer somehow. So she tries to grab the wheel of the car, and he stops her. And then he puts in the ash, like the old ash
like the
lighter, the cigarette lighter that you punch in, and then it would heat up. And then he puts it on something on a ring on his finger to heat that up.
Oh, I missed that part. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like the brand was like on a ring.
Okay.
And then he brands her in her neck with that, whatever that is on his ring. And he says, hey, I'm going to give you a message. Can you give Buffy a message? And she's like, yeah. And then he stabs her, and then he whispers the message. We don't hear what it is. Yeah. And then he's able to open the car door, and he throws her out. And he said, yeah, there's a car behind you. There's a car behind us, and they're going to Sunnydale too. And so they can take you. And the car stops. She rolls out of the car. The car behind them stops. And
Willow runs out.
Willow runs out, and then we see that it's also Faith.
And she's like, yep, I guess I'm back in Sunnydale.
Yeah, girls getting stabbed and thrown from cars. Well, she knows. She's been stabbed and thrown from a building in Sunnydale. So, yeah, she's like, yeah, so Willow says, we have to get her to the hospital. And obviously we see that Faith has come back. So the person that's come back is Faith, not Angel.
I was wrong. Yep.
So then we go to the credits and we come back. And at Xander's.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of this scene.
This is not, it wasn't good then, but it did not age well at all.
It was pretty horrible.
Okay, so at Xander's, of course, they're overrun at Buffy, so Xander's got girls sleeping all over his apartment too. So the girls are sleeping everywhere, and Xander's talking to one girl who's like, I'm scared, I'm not ready, how do I know I'll be ready? There's so much I haven't done, I haven't been with a man. And he's like, oh, they're sitting on his bed talking.
Gross.
And then Rachel Bilson from the OC pops up. As another potential slayer. You didn't recognize her?
I didn't watch the OC, so I didn't.
She's in other things too. But she was a big early 2000s actress. And she's like, yeah, I've never been, it just gets, what? He's like, I've never
pillow fights.
And then they're gonna have a threesome with him.
Yeah. Gross.
And then the door opens and all the girls are having a pillow fight in their underwear.
In their skimpy pajamas.
Yeah, in their underwear or pajamas. And then he, of course, wakes up because it's a dream and it's like, yuck. These are all underage girls. So
yeah,
gross.
that's what I was thinking too. Aren't they all teenagers?
Yeah, it's gross.
And he's in his 20s now.
Yeah, nasty. Okay. Nasty. Yeah, it did not age well. This did not age well. So Rona is waking him up, and he's like, oh, so and so has the stomach flu, so the toilet's backed up. Can you take care of that? And he's
there you go. That's your punishment for being gross.
Gross.
Also, you get your eye gouged out later.
Yeah. Yeah. Too bad it wasn't his mind's eye. All right, so at the hospital, Willow and Faith kind of watch. Of course, they have in all these shows, they have these glass operating rooms where everybody can just watch the things happening.
Totally what hospitals look like.
Totally. So they're watching this girl in surgery, and Willow's kind of filling her in on these girls being hunted. And she's like, oh, people were hunting down slayers and no one thought to give me a heads up. And Willow's like, well, you were in prison, so we thought you were safe. And she's like, well, I wasn't, because someone came after me with a knife, and I had no idea why until now. And she's like, oh, sorry. And she's like, it's fine. Whatever. And she's like, we had to find Buffy. And I called, and they said that she's patrolling. But somebody has to stay with this girl. So Willow's going to stay, and Buffy knows that Faith is coming, but she's going to go find Faith. Faith is going to go find Buffy, but Willow's a bit apprehensive because, things have we're not left well with Faith and Buffy. So at the graveyard, a girl's being chased by a vampire, we surmise. Faith stops him, and then we see that it's Spike.
He tackles him.
Tackles him, and we see that it was Spike.
Yep.
And he they're fighting, and he kind of recognizes her and says, oh, this is a misunderstanding. I knew you were coming.
And she's like, oh, yeah, you're just a vampire, chasing down girls.
Yeah.
You're so reformed, are you?
Yeah. You're Faith. And she's like, you're Spike. We've met. And he's like, no, I don't think we have met. And she thinks he's evil. He's like, we're on the same side. And she's like, no, I'm not on that side anymore. And he's like, stop hitting me. You are misunderstanding everything. And he's like, yeah, if I'm misunderstanding, then why were you attacking that innocent girl? And Buffy hits Faith out of nowhere, sucker punches her. And she says, Spike's on my side. He fights for me. He fights on my side, which is more than I can say for some of us about Faith.
And he got his soul back. And she's like, oh, Angel?
Yeah. Wrong thing to say. Spike is very offended that you compared him to Angel. And then he said, yeah, if he's so good, what is he doing hunting down innocent girls? And then that girl attacks her, and she's the vampire.
Yeah,
and then Faith stakes her. All right, so at Buffy's, Buffy brings Faith back, and Dawn is not happy.
No, she's like, why does she have to stay here? Why is she even here?
Yeah, but Dawn's not happy about this. And things are frosty still between Buffy and Giles.
Yes.
And Spike fills Faith in on, that wasn't all about you. Wood and Giles tried to kill me behind Buffy's back, so there's, some stuff going on there. And she's like, oh, okay. So at a vineyard, Caleb is he goes on a lot of, speeches and diatribes, religious diatribes. And he's talking about the Last Supper. And he's like, I always wondered if at the Last Supper, if you had chosen the white wine instead of the red, like what would have happened?
Yeah, and then he talks about like the lymphatic system.
Yeah, he's like, what, he just made white wine out of his lymphatic system? Like, he says it's crazy. He's like, I always wanted to know these answers. And he's like, but you showed me the light, the first, as Buffy. Buffy comes out and says, you showed me the light. And he knows that she's a dead person, but he doesn't realize that this whole time she's been in the form, the first has been in the form of the Slayer. So now he like realizes that that's what the Slayer looks like. Mm-hmm. He's like, I've been working for you. I've been doing all these things. I blew up the council. So he's the one that blew up the council.
That was a big...
I've organized the Bringers. So he basically would told like the Bringers where to go and all this. So he's kind of been organizing the Bringers for her. And she's like, yeah, like you're going to get, as payment, you're going to be able to meet Buffy soon. And he says, do you think she'll like take the bait, essentially? He says, yeah, because like it's curiosity killed the cat, basically. I'm going to offer her an apple.
Woman's first sin.
Yeah, I'm going to offer her an apple, and she has no option but to take it.
Sadly, he was correct.
Yeah, so then there's a faith montage that we got a little bit more from like storyteller.
With a voiceover.
From Andrew, kind of catching. Now, I see why they did this, because they're kind of catching up people, because we haven't seen Faith for several seasons. And so they're kind of catching Faith up on the audience on what the deal with Faith is. So I get why they did this. But then he kind of gets confused and says that she was fighting a Vulcan. So it has her fighting Spock from Star Trek. And it's funny because I said, like, I guess in the DVD like commentary, they said that they contacted like Star Trek people and they were like, "Can we do this?" They're like, "Do whatever you want. We don't care."
Oh, really?
Like,
That's cool.
Like, it's fine. Like,
nice.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And then he gets interrupted, and what's her name? Amanda.
Oh yeah, Amanda. Why would Faith kill someone who studied volcanoes?
Yeah. He's like, he was a volcanologist, and he's like, oh, I could all that's true. It was just getting you guys caught up. All of it was true, and it all was true, except for he just had a little misunderstanding there that he thought that she was fighting Vulcans. But be careful, because Faith is a killer. Like, don't get too comfortable around her. So at school, Buffy and Wood talk. He's still healing from the whooping that Spike gave him. And they kind of... She's like, I meant what I said. Like, I don't have time for your vendettas, but I want you in this fight. Like, we need you.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I understand. And so they're good again. They're on solid. They're civil. They're on the same team.
Yeah.
And he said, and then she's like, we're good? He's like, yes, absolutely. By the way, you're fired.
Ouch.
She's like, what? And he says, why are you even here? Like, what are you doing? We have a much bigger thing going on.
Also, there's not much drama at the school right now.
So, like, people are leaving town. Half the kids aren't even showing up to school.
Yeah.
And, like, you have the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I guess you're right. But she just wants to get away from the house. She's like, can't I even come in part-time? He says, no, and remember, like, the mission is what matters. She says these girls, like, aren't ready for this epic war. Like, they need to be tested. And he's like, well, it's time to test them, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so this scene. All right, so in the basement, Faith tries to take a break from all the potential. She goes down the stairs to escape.
And of course, Spike is hanging out in his bed shirtless.
Yeah, well, it's his bed. It's in the middle of the night for him. So she goes down there to smoke. So she gives him a cigarette so they can have a smoke together. And she notices the chains on the wall. And she's like, oh. And he's like, it's not really what you think. I was just dangerous for a while. And she said, was it before or after this all? He's like, after. But I'm fine. I'm good. I'm over it. And the girls are making a bunch of noise upstairs. And he said the girls are going crazy. They're good, but they're green.
Yeah.
And Faith says, like, I've had enough of, like, being locked up with women because she was in jail. And he's like, yeah, you could have broken out any time. He's like, I stopped me from breaking out because I was dangerous for a while. And no, she broke out once Angel needed her help. And that all happened on Angel, obviously. And she's pretty much over being bad, but she likes, like, her kinky stuff. That's, like, her being bad stuff. Mm-hmm. And,
it seems like they're flirting a bit, actually.
Yeah, there is a bit of, yes, Faith cannot help herself. If Buffy has any kind of connection to a guy, Faith Gold right there. This is her fourth dude that she's kind of like, of Buffy's that she's kind of went after. Anyway, she doesn't really, I guess, know that for sure right now. But yeah, they're like, and Spike's being very Spike, like he's flirting. Yes, they're flirting with each other. So she comes over and sits on the bed and is smoking and says, we met before. He's like, I don't think we met before. And he's like, well, I was in a different body.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So in Who Are You in season 4, Buffy's at the Bronze having fun. Well, Faith is in Buffy's body and she runs into Spike. And this is the first time that we blatantly see, like, and she, again, like, talks to him, like, very sexually. And she said, yeah, she's like, I would talk to you. She says, like, I was in a different body. I was in Buffy's body, but you seemed okay with what I was saying. So that's like and we see that in season 4. Like, Spike's like, like, I might be okay with that if all this was serious. Yeah. So he remembers her words. He recites them because he's like, a man doesn't forget when that kind of stuff is said to him. And she said, you should have known right away it wasn't Buffy. Like, she would never throw down like that. And he's like, oh, she has. She has thrown down like that. And Faith is shocked that Buffy's, like, getting down and nasty with Spike. And he's like, well, not anymore. Not lately. She's like, wow, I can't believe it. And then Buffy comes down the stairs.
Awkward. Yep.
And immediately jealousy on her face.
Of course.
Like
she's like, what is
she's
this?
jealous. Obviously, she has feelings for Spike, but also with Faith, she's like, if I have feelings for anyone close, like, she cannot be trusted. She went after Scott Hope, who she dated in beginning of season 3. She went after Angel. She went after Riley.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And she's kind of like, Buffy's scared. She's going after Spike now.
Okay.
So, I mean, she slept with Riley in Buffy's body, if you remember.
I didn't remember that, actually.
Yes.
Damn.
Like, he thought he was having sex with Buffy, and it was fake. Mm-hmm. They had a big bump in the relationship when that happened. So Buffy's like, you two seem to be getting along, and they kind of like he's like awkwardly shifting away from her, and Faith says, oh, you just know all the cool vampires. She's like, yeah. She doesn't like this at all. And then he says, aren't you supposed to be at work right now? She's like, yeah, I just thought I needed to keep eye on things that are happening around here. And then Dawn says that the girl is away from the hospital. She yells down into the basement. So at the hospital, they're talking to the girl, Shannon, and she says a preacher picked her up when she was being chased by the bringers. He called them his boys, and before he threw her out of the car and stabbed her, he branded her neck. And Willow takes a picture of it. Willow's there with her. And he said he had a message for you. And he says, tell Buffy I have something of yours.
And this piques her interest quite a bit.
Yes, of course it does, yeah. So at Buffy's, she gathers the whole group. She's telling them this whole story. And she's like, we have something. It could be another girl. It could be a potential. It could be something. Like, we need to, like, find out what it is. So we're going to go, and we're going to get whatever this is. So at the winery, there is a girl in the winery talking to Caleb, and she's like, oh, I heard you're preaching, and I just, like, was drawn to you, like, drawn to about what you were talking about. And they're just talking about this, and he stabs her. He, like, slices her across the stomach, and she falls. And then turns into Buffy, so the first. So this was, like, a whole, like, fantasy role-play thing for him.
So weird. Well, especially because she was talking about, like, urges, and she's weak.
Yeah, and he is basically replaying the girls that he's killed in the past. That was a girl he had killed in the past, and he's like, oh, what about this other girl that I killed? Can you be her? And she's like, sure. So he's just going through, like, reliving killing these girls that he's killed in the past.
And she's like, the first is like, most people don't like visits from their dead.
Yeah. Oh, he was like, I get to live all over again.
All these girls followed me.
Yeah. He's like, I get to kill them over and over again now with you. It's great. So at Buffy's, they're getting ready to arm the girls. They have to arm the girls.
Yeah, and Giles isn't so sure about that. He's like, this feels like a trap.
Yeah, we're going to go and find out what this is. And everyone is kind of concerned.
Yeah.
Xander is concerned.
Because Buffy's kind of just going in guns blazing. Yeah,
she's going in guns blazing. She's like, there's no time to wait to figure it out. The girls that, she doesn't say that about the teach the girls. She says that now. But she said the girls that have the most experience will come. Willow will protect the girls back at the house that are newer. But we're going to go. Like, they have to be tested now. And then Giles says, why don't you stay here, Giles, with the girls that still need a teacher? That's when he says that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people have concerns about
Giles
this
thinks
plan.
it's a trap. Xander thinks it's a trap.
Yeah, and even Spike says, don't you think that's maybe exactly what he wants you to do? So everyone has trepidation about this plan.
Yep.
So in the woods, Faith and Buffy follow a bringer. And they're like, usually they just poof, disappear.
Yeah,
or
this
run
one
away.
wants to be found.
Yeah, he wants to be found. So
this is all very interesting. Like, we're not catching on.
Yeah. So, I mean, they know they're leading them there. Buffy knows that Caleb wants her to find him, so he has to make it feasible. So this is they all know what's going on here. And she says, you've been a rough, Faith says to Buffy, you're like in a rough situation, like trying to train all these girls to fight this insane war. And they kind of talk about Angel, and she says, Angel's good. He says hi. And she's like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, I went on this like mind walk with him, like inside Angel's mind. This has all happened on Angel, of course. But then they get to the place that it's a winery, and there's more bringers. So Buffy's like, okay, this is where it is. So they found where Caleb is. So back at Xander's getting all the girls ready, arming them, and he's telling them, like eyes, face, torso, like organs, like that's where you want to like hit, for the bringers.
Yeah.
And the girls, they're just getting the girls ready.
He's like, don't doubt Buffy because she's already died twice and she cares more about their lives than they'll ever know.
Yeah, so Rona is like, Buffy doesn't care about us and all this. So Xander gives this whole speech about how, Buffy has died twice. Like, she cares about your lives more than you'll ever know. I've seen her do this for years, and she's earned your trust, so you need to trust her. Yeah. And Buffy and Faith come in the door during this, and Buffy gets very emotional and like starts tearing up because she hears Xander talking about her like this, which is very sweet. And I like what Faith is like, man, I didn't know you were so cool. And she's like, well, you were always a little slow. So they're ready to go. So they're at the vineyard, and they have two groups. Half of them are going to stay outside, and half of them are going to go in case it's a trap. They can come in and help them. So they go in, and they're like, the bringers are around here somewhere. Like, it's going to happen. They're hiding around here somewhere. And then, of course, the bringers jump out and fight them. And then they run off, and then Caleb arrives. She's like, what do you have of mine? He's like, well, I have something now. Basically, just saying, like, it was a trap.
It was a trap. Damn.
And then
he punches her really hard.
He says, like, okay, you're the Slayer. You must be so powerful and like the strongest. And he's just telling her how intense, like how strong she is and how impressive she is. And then he punches her across the room. Like, yeah, but I'm stronger, is what he was saying. And Buffy's like, I think she's knocked out at this point.
Yep.
And so Spike is like, okay. And now he goes in for it and is pretty much beat easily. And he is thrown into a huge vat of wine. And wine starts gushing out.
Yep.
And then so the girls try to fight. And they're doing their best. And then Caleb breaks Rona's arm.
Yep. Like he snaps it like it's just a little twig.
Yeah, he snaps her arm. And the second groups come in because the sign was a lot of yelling. So they come in, and Faith tries to fight Caleb, and he beats her pretty easily. So he's got a lot of power.
Kicked into a barrel.
Yeah, they're just all the wasted wine. They're all getting. Kennedy gets thrown into a barrel of wine, like wine everywhere.
All that Christ blood.
And exactly. And then so Caleb kills an unnamed potential that we don't know. But then he kills Molly, who is the British one.
Yeah.
So he stabs her. So Buffy's like, we have to retreat. Like, get everybody out. And so they're trying to like scramble and get everyone up. And Xander's trying to get everyone up. And then Caleb grabs Xander. He's like, oh, you're the one that sees everything. And he puts his thumb on Xander's eye and just punches it out. Just like squashes it. And Xander's screaming and blood's all coming out.
But he doesn't scream as much as I thought he was going to.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
And also, what did he even mean by that? He sees everything.
Well, I think that's Xander's role. I mean, we had that whole speech with Dawn, or about how like he's always watching and all this stuff, and so I think it was part of that. Like that's Xander's role, and by partially blinding him, that's taking that away from him. That was symbolically like that.
Yikes.
So at the hospital, Buffy's walking down like the row, and there's all the beds are filled with potentials.
And she's checking on Rona.
And Xander's there with Willow with his eye all patched up, and he's sleeping. At home, the girls that weren't at the hospital are getting patched up. They weren't quite as bad to go into the hospital. And Caleb's talking about, let me tell you a story. There's like a voiceover, and Buffy obviously feels really guilty. Yeah. And she's like walking, looking at all of this, and then she's just like walking down the street, the empty street, kind of in like shock that this happened. And Caleb's talking about how he will kill them all.
Yep.
And that's the end of the episode. My favorite quote was the speech that Xander gives about Buffy. And he says, I've been through more battles with Buffy than you can ever imagine. She stopped everything that's ever come up against her. She's laid down her life, literally, protect the people around her. This girl has died 2 times and she's still standing. You're scared? That's smart. You've got questions? You should. But you doubt her motives. You think Buffy's all about the kill, and then you take the little bus to battle. I've seen her heart, and this time, not literally. And I'm telling you right now, she cares more about your lives than you'll ever know. You've got to trust her. She's earned it.
That's a good quote.
Good, yeah. Xander has some good speeches in this season.
Yeah.
Got to do something, I guess, besides fix the windows. So I thought that was a really good moment. And Buffy heard it, which is very nice. So yeah. I thought it was really nice. Because, yeah, there was doubts and stuff, but he expressed those earlier, but in front of the girls, I mean, I know he really feels this way, but in front of the girls, they have to show united front. Yep. Exactly. So I just thought that was a really nice speech. And then my favorite scene, my most rewatched scene of this episode that I rewatch frequently, is Spike and Faith in the basement. I love that scene. I think it's so funny.
It's a good scene.
I think it's so funny. Those two like have such chemistry. I think they're so funny together, and they're so much alike. And then Buffy comes down and is like, not happy about this. Yeah, I love that scene so much. Yeah, easily my favorite scene.
It's a good scene. My favorite quote was when, Andrew was talking about the Vulcan, and then Amanda's like, why would Faith kill someone who studied volcanoes? And then she's like, he studied volcanoes. He was a professor.
Okay, yeah. So Andrew says, why would Faith kill someone that studied Vulcans?
I put A. Right. Okay, Vulcans.
So he says
and then
Vulcans,
she's like, okay, and then Amanda's like, he studied volcanoes. He was a professor.
Studied volcanoes. And he's like, I misunderstood what was happening.
Okay, I thought that was funny, even though I didn't get it quite right.
It's okay.
I'll just be a little like Andrew here.
Yeah.
And then my favorite scene is actually Xander's speech. I just thought that was
good.
That was a good speech. Yeah.
Okay, so I gave for my stake rating, I gave it a 4.7 because it sets up a lot. There's a lot of new stuff in here. Mm-hmm. Buffy makes a big mistake.
Yeah, she does.
In this, and
even though she was warned
for the last quite a while in this season, she has kind of been ruling, or not ruling, but this isn't a democracy. She has been leading alone with much less, I wouldn't say support, but she's had to make the decisions on her own more than ever before. It's not really a team effort this season, as far as the decisions that have to be made, like it has been in other seasons. And I think she's had to come to be confident in those decisions. And this definitely rocks her confidence. Yeah. Because 2 potentials are dead. Xander's really hurt. A lot of people are hurt. So she makes a big mistake, and the fallout from those mistakes. 2 dead girls. Xander permanently maimed. Yeah. And so she is shook, for sure. I said, so this has put doubts in Buffy's head that she cannot afford. Because, this is just the beginning of the end. And then Caleb is on the scene. So, it's hard for the first. Happens to the bringers, sure. But, it's hard for the first to, actually do stuff besides manipulation because it can't touch anything. Mm-hmm. And we have the overvamp, obviously. So now Caleb is, now the right-hand man to the first that can actually do things. And obviously he's been souped up in some way because he's extremely strong. Yeah. He's not just human strong, obviously.
No. He's some sort of paranormal.
Took down Spike and 2 Slayers with very little effort. Yeah. So Caleb, is going to be a formidable foe. So him coming on the scene and it is a big deal. But also he's very interesting character. This misogynist preacher thing is very different. And I think obviously it's not cool, but he's a cool character. He's different and
He's
interesting,
unique.
even though he's horrible, obviously. But yeah, I think he fit well. I think he fits well into this kind of situation. So
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I gave it a 4.6 actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so interesting to bring Faith back.
That I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
That was a big thing. And then just like Buffy was warned this was a trap, and she was just like, let's just go in anyway. And then just how she like basically says Giles, he has nothing to teach her, although he was the one that was saying, like, maybe we should hang back, maybe we should take time, so maybe she still does have something to learn from him. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so. And then, so the potentials are starting to die. People are dying. People are getting hurt. I feel like previously, I know we've had people die before, but this is obviously going to be different.
Yeah.
So.
And it is different because Buffy was like, okay, we're going to go attack. It's not like they just jump through the window of the front room like they usually do.
Yeah.
Or are manipulated behind people not knowing. This was a choice to go there.
Yeah.
And we're definitely seeing some dissension in the ranks. So yeah, they're not working as a cohesive whole at the moment.
No.
Which is not good. You don't want that. A couple episodes before the big battle.
Together, yeah. They're going to have to get their shit together.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good episode, though.
Yep.
Beginning of the end. All right. So your question for the next episode called Empty Places.
Okay.
Who betrays Buffy?
Oh. I'm going to have to go with Faith.
Okay.
It's probably not, because that's the obvious choice, but it's not going to be Xander or Willow or I don't think Anya or Spike or Giles. I guess it could be one of the potentials. But yeah, I'll just go with Faith.
Okay. I mean, her history does not support her very well.
But it just seems like the obvious choice.
Right. I get that. Okay. So that wraps up Season 7, Episode 18, Dirty Girls. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps and YouTube and Instagram at One Girl in All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back with Season 7, Episode 19. I can't believe it. Empty Places. Slay your Sam.